Hello everyone, we are in a group of 6 again today. We have Joan, David, Andrew, Tanya, myself and Bob. And we're going to be interrupted because the nurse is going to come. We have palliative visits every day, sometimes twice a day. So we're going to be excluding Bob for a little bit out of the meeting. But for now, he already announced that his voice is hoarse. He's not going to speak, but he's going to listen. He's enjoying listening to all the meetings, including Zooms, including one-on-ones. It's just delightful energy, isn't it? Mm. So on that tone of the delightful energy, I'll just say a few words to put us all on the same page, and then we're just going to share whatever sits clear. So it starts really. Bob usually starts from the fact that we are talking about omnipresence. Meaning there is a presence of total presence, that every presence, everything that has ever been present is that one presence. Is the presence which he sometimes calls intelligence energy, meaning there is intelligence to that presence, and it has the characteristic of the energy, it experiences and expresses itself as the capacity for knowing, as the seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. So that one presence through different bodies, of course, the human body will experience it as thinking and feeling and judging and computing and all that activity that goes in a human pattern. Different capacities will have other patterns, whales or birds. That energy, that pure energy will express itself as a different type of movement, but still the movement of energy. And that same movement of energy constitutes the body. As such, all the matter is made of the movement of subatomic particles, so-called, and generally a movement. Even the body, non-physical body, when you go to sleep at night and you dream, there is a body that is moving in the dream while the physical body is static in a bed. So obviously there is a body in that waking dream that is experiencing and processing and is seeing and is hearing and is thinking. And in the night dream, when you fall asleep, that dream body is taking over the function. So from that is quite clear that you couldn't possibly be the body, because you are the awareness, aware of that physical body in this waking dream and the dream body in the sleeping dream. So there is a common denominator, which is the presence of awareness or the omnipresence that is there regardless of the shape or the form of the body in the dream. When the body was little, when you were 5-year-old or 7-year-old, there was that same presence, that omnipresence, that total presence was there. Then the body was growing and aging. The body might have been injured. The body might have been paralyzed. Limbs might have been missing. Hopefully, won't. and in the dream, the same applies. People who do train themselves to remember dreams, they would remember that they would even have different shapes, different bodies, different age, different sex. That happens in the dreams. However, from that you can see that in that energy, in that field of energy, that intelligence, the body is the characteristic, is the vehicle that the energy dreams for itself for the sake of experiencing and the expression. Same with the mind. We can see that again, no matter what worldview and what personal image we have. One day I may get up and feel that I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, and there is something wrong with me, and I am a loser. Another day I may wake up and I may feel that, it's not too bad, it's okay, life's not that unfriendly. And there is the same common denominator underneath both those points of view, and as infinite amount of those points of view. So there is the presence, that awareness of those vantage points or that perceptions or that interpretations. So that presence, that total presence or omnipresence in various bodies through life, because not one cell is present in this body right now that was there 10 years ago, not even one. according to the biggest belief system commonly known as science. But it is it is actually good enough for the illustration of non-duality, because non-duality can't really be adequately described or spoken about, because every description is using the language, symbolic language, which by its nature is designed to describe the duality or manifestation or the phenomena. So everything that we use, every word that we use, is pointing at something. And what we are talking about is not a thing. It is the... you wanted to add something? No? Yes? All right. Okay, cool. So it's no thing, it's not nothing, it's not a thing, it is a capacity for everything, it's a potentiality of everything, it's the field of knowing. Even the field is already, is, you could call space, you could call it anything, you could call it God, you could call it love, you could call it intelligence energy, that's a really, really good way of putting it, or pure potentiality. Something that in the material world or the world of science you could equate to energy per se. There is an energy which you could experience as electricity, which is a light in the salt lamp there, or is the heater of a toaster, and it's still the energy. Expression of the energy is different, but the energy at its source is just one. It's one field of energy. When you switch off the lamp, the energy doesn't incarnate to another lamp. And that energy also, through different vehicles, experiences as light, as sound, as image, as you can have different waves, you can have X-rays, you can have tons of different expressions through that particular vehicle, which is not a toaster or a lamp, but it is also some sort of a transceiver, receiver, like it's a dream body, but it still has the capacity of converting that pure raw energy into the seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and thinking. And with that particular capacity of thinking, it has the capacity to imagine. And with the energy, that energy, raw energy, when the belief comes into the image, it creates the sense of certainty that this is the world, this exists, this is real, this dream is real. This image of me being a loser or me being okay, it becomes real, it feels real, but it never is. It is just an image believed into existence, just the same way the child believes that Santa is real, or people a few hundred years ago believed that Earth was flat and was running around the sun even when it wasn't flat, and not the other way around. Those are beliefs, and when belief is the sense of certainty, belief when it is fully fueled by that energy, the only one energy, it becomes seeming reality. It never is, because reality is that which never changes, and beliefs do change. And even if they don't, even if some vehicle managed to hang on to one belief, like I am a woman or I am a human, for all their lives since they learn language, because obviously nobody was born with that belief. When the body drops, belief is gone, so it's not a reality. Nothing that ever changes is the reality. So what doesn't? What is it that doesn't change? And in direct experience, because we can bring up the theory and we can speculate that there is something out there, but how about this moment right now and direct experience? Because this is the only reality that we can experience directly. And then we run the whole full circle back to the point in which there is a presence, the omnipresence. The presence in the dream, the consciousness that is aware of the unfolding of the dream, the same consciousness aware of the unfolding right now, and even throughout the whole life, which was made to a memory that is experienced also now, there is that persistent presence that tells you that this is you, that this body, the childhood of this body, the traumas of this body, the conditioning, the adventures, is all you. That there is something that doesn't change. And in the language, because language conceptualizes and puts symbols, we call it me, or my, or myself, or I. And because that word doesn't really have much of the offer, you know, like identifying with just a word doesn't really give it a justice, because that sense of presence is rich and is juicy and is alive and is vibrant. So the word doesn't give it a justice. So we add, and again, we don't do it. It's just the way the computer runs, the way the conditioning, the mind, the thinking capacity is being trained through imitation. It's been taught to run. It creates the whole identity around that sense of presence, which is real, around that sense of existence, which we call me. But me is a small word, so now to that me, a lot of things gets added, accumulated. That I am a person, I am a woman, I am this nationality, or I had this experiences, this parents, this schools, this heartbreaks, this family or children or divorces or whatever comes into a picture is added, so that juiciness and aliveness of that sense of me is given slightly more justice, but it really isn't, because that is a cage that is built up, cage of concepts. Now, being just a body or just a woman, I am isolated and separated from the totality, from that field of knowing. Being only part of the totality, I feel incomplete and vulnerable and somehow not good enough, not lovable. Something's wrong with me. And then I start looking for completeness, feeling that maybe if I get the better job or a better relationship or more money or more friends or more approval, that sense of void, that sense of inadequacy will somehow ease off. But it never works. Even if I get everything I've ever dreamed of, how long I'm going to be happy for it? And there is always someone who has more or is more. So it is a never-ending search for completeness, which has never been taken away. It has only seemingly been covered or exchanged for the cage of concepts, that I am this, that, or the other, rather than direct experience of just being present. Everybody is aware of their presence. And this is when Bob invites us to actually look through the old scriptures, where in practically every major system of thought or spiritual system, it has been taught in very similar ways. In Buddhism, it is ever fresh presence awareness, just this and nothing else. There is nothing else that is real apart from that presence awareness, ever fresh, right here, right now, spontaneous. So this is the reality. Everything else is just an illusion, is the emptiness which became form through the vibration. Similarly, in Hindu religion, they call it Satchit Ananda, which is the reality, and Namarupa, which is Maya, illusion. Satchit Ananda is awareness of presence is bliss, or being, knowing, and loving to be. That's the reality. Everybody is already being, is already knowing that they exist, and is fairly happy to exist. Nobody seems to be. There may be moments when there is objections to it, but they are not right now. So right now, the reality Satchitananda stands. Namarupa is the way the reality has been covered. Shapes, forms, names, association with being a fragment, separated fragment. That's how the reality is lost. In Christianity, they're talking about, again, I've started from it, the omnipresence, which is total presence. Omnipresence doesn't mean my presence, God's presence. It means total presence, presence without divisions and separations. Everything is God's presence. This presence here is also God's presence. If that's omnipresence, how could that possibly be somehow something different or something separated or something less? Omnipotence, the same thing, only the expression of the presence in action, in power, as the movement of energy, which is, if we go to the Hinduism, you have Satchitananda, being, knowing, and loving to be. So being is that one could say static aspect of existence. Knowing is the activity, and loving to be is an action, is the power. So omniscience would be the knowing, omnipotence would be the loving to be, the action, and omnipresence is being. So being, knowing, loving to be in many different ways. Bob often quotes other scriptures, but I just only repeat from the memory because that's really his spiel. I didn't look through many of those scriptures because I didn't need to. And this is the invitation also which Bob presents. He's been down, fell off, scratched himself a few times here and there by looking for the truth, and then he found it and he brings it and he lets you drink right from the source without needing to spend hours and years and hundreds of thousands of hours of studying and meditation and watching and reading. That's not necessary. You can just really resonate very, very directly with what he's pointing. And the pointing is super simple and super clear. Everybody's aware of existence. That's it. Now, what is added onto it is illusion, is Maya. That is to be recognized for what it is. What's added to it, sense of separation. How does it really feel, the sense of separation? Well, it doesn't. There is no feeling to it. It's a thought. And that thought may be causing some echo in the system. When the thought is believed, there may be a shallow breathing happening. There may be a tension in the body happening. There may be fear or anxiety happening, which is already just a label. But a lot of different sensations may be happening in the response to a thought. But that thought has been learned. That thought has been imitated from parents, society, and everyone else who actually learned it from the ancestry, and has never been questioned. So if that thought is questioned, the repercussion of that thought will ease off naturally. And then Bob has few lines of questioning. What's wrong with right now if we don't think about it? And now, who am I if I don't think about it? Am I really not good enough unless I think about it? If I don't think about it, what could ever possibly be wrong with this moment, with myself? If I don't think about it, how could I even conceive of myself being limited or separated? How could I conceive without a concept, without the thought that I'm the body? That's a thought. Without the thought, there is an existence, Satchitananda, omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience. Or ever-fresh presence awareness, just this, nothing else. There is awareness of presence. There is this luminous, clear knowing of existence. And again, thought will come and say, yes, but this is not good enough. They are talking about some achievements or huge states. When I achieve that state, I will never be angry again. Well, who is that I to achieve the state? Without the thought. If there is no thought, is there an I that drives the body? I is a thought. Sense of presence is there, but is there an I? So you are the sense of presence. You call it I, and you add the concepts to it, and you build the cage of concepts. You're not doing it, of course, it's life just expressing through the machine. The same way the energy expresses as light through the lamp. The same way the energy expresses as heat through the oven. The same way the energy of life expresses through that body as seeing, hearing, and thinking, and constructing that cage of concepts. There is no one else have done ever anything. So it isn't really, you're not guilty, you're not stupid for getting it or not getting it. There isn't any you there. It's just the energy expressing through that vehicle as the thinking. As the thinking is conditioned, it expresses as that cage of concepts. But it is also moved to look through it, to investigate, and to see what is it that you consider yourself to be. What is it that you believe you are? And when you notice that, oh, okay, we got the noose. So we gotta move to that side of the bed. And
excuse us just for a moment, please. Yeah.
Okay,
Sure
so thank you. Yeah, so we are back now. Bob is in the background. We're gonna include him in a picture as soon as his drives, as his cannulas and needles will be changed over. But he is with us. He's looking at us. He's giving us a nice smile and encouraging nods. So anyone would like to add something or comment on something or bring up something or highlight something what is particularly moving from the way Bob is presenting non-duality, something that is really effective? Or
Hello, I'm Joan. What stays with me was the beautiful listening to Kat's voice with my eyes closed, like being in an ocean. And just the feeling being with.
oh, beautiful. You are such a hard person. And that is actually the way to receive non-duality, not with words, not with the mind, not with trying to understand it or grasp it or compartmentalize it somewhere and remember it, like often people say, oh, yes, I knew it, I've seen it, but I forgot. The I that forgot is not your true self. That's just the mind. The mind is the recorder. It doesn't matter whether whatever is remembered or forgotten is not your true self. So that's the heart essence that responds to the pointing, because in the heart of hearts, you know that, and so does everyone else. Joan knows that she knows, but other people, and again, there is no Joan, it's just life responding, knowing, recognizing. But not everyone else has that certainty in the knowing. The knowing is there, it's always there. You are already present, you are already aware of that presence, of that aliveness, or Lord's presence, how Christians would call it. But there may be other things standing in the way of fully recognizing it. There may be other things clouding it to the point that it is completely ignored, completely out of sight, unacknowledged. And that is, those things that are clouding it and obscuring it, is the very nature of the mind relating to the conceptual image of yourself that you are. So looking at that image, looking at that translation of everything as relevant or irrelevant for me, what is that me? And seeing that there is nothing substantial, nothing that could stand on its own, nothing that never changes, apart from that boundless, limitless, ever-fresh sense of presence. If you think you are your emotional self, or your set of values, or your roles in life, role of a parent or a worker or a business, those are temporary, those are phenomena, they come and go, those are part of the functioning. But the awareness of it, that one is which never changes.
Yeah, this conceptual cage, that's a fun concept, isn't it, that one? It's very evocative. And this time of year, with all the festivities and the gathering together, there's lots of photos being taken. And lots of posting online and lots of checking one's look in the mirror, make sure you're ready for public consumption. and I've heard in the Zoom meetings, particularly women, middle-aged, oh gosh, God, I could look old in that photo. Yep. Oh, is that, God, I've aged, all these concepts. A little bit of sadness around that, or despondency, or grasping for something that's not. And it's a real opportunity, though, because looking at those photos, those images, the reflections in the mirror, when you look, you go, oh, actually, that's not me. No. That's not me. That's just a costume of the actor in this play. And what we really are is that basic underlying sense of presence that has never changed. It's always been the same since we can remember, since we were small. That which never changes. Everything else is costume.
Yeah.
pretend, changeable. It's just what you were saying, just in a different way that comes slightly different because there's so much photo taking and, this time of year, and it came up a bit in the last Zoom meeting we had, but you can drop that concept. You don't need to carry that one around with you either, You reinvented every moment. That's it.
I'm gonna just flip the camera over to Bob because he's giving us such a beautiful, warm smile, waiting for his. You wanna wave? Yeah, waiting for his refills. Yeah. So, anyone else would like to add something? Andrew, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I've just come across Bob and Kat like probably a few weeks ago now. So I've just been sort of still in the investigation thing, but I'm starting to recognise it a lot, and I've just realised that all this time I've just been suffering a lot as a person, and just realising that all the thoughts that are coming up and all that are just that they're not actually you. So and then so that presence awareness and the recognizing of that is sort of the awareness of the awareness is itself, I guess. And it's becoming more and more well, it's not really becoming, but it's just getting recognized more, so I can it's just, and I've been through a lot of spiritual practices, and there's a lot of concepts there, and in the Hindu traditions and in the Bhagavad Gita and all those spiritual texts, because it came about as well that I was afraid of dying as well, and I thought, oh no, I better fix myself in this life, so in the next life, I'll come back. I won't come back as a animal or something like that they say. So I'm letting those concepts come up still, and then they go away, and because there's no way of really proving all that anyway, because that's just, they're just concepts in the end, coming from the mind. So, and the mind is not that, it's not really something you can rely on, because it's just an instrument of the body, and we are not the body. So, and that's what's becoming more recognizable.
That is so beautiful, and it's just such a clear reminder that whatever comes from the mind, and all the theories, all the concepts about past and future, reincarnation, heaven, hell, improvement, retirement, all of it is mind-made. It is an incredible, incredible instrument that is a fantastic improviser. You ask it a question, what happened 1,000 years ago? There is nothing there in the electrical impulses that could call the memory, because obviously the brain wasn't even born. The great grandparents didn't even meet, so there is nothing that could have recorded, possibly. But the mind will improvise the answer. It is just a wonderful, wonderful instrument with fantastic capacity for imagining, and with and that capacity comes from life. And we had that conversation with Andrew, and he beautifully, naturally resonates in response to the function of life, which creates the religion as a social regulation system, and reincarnation, which is a beautiful way of presenting the idea of morality to the broader public, which is not ready to question the idea of doership. I am doer, I'm the doer, I'm responsible for my bad deeds, and if I'm gonna be evil, I'm gonna come back as a snake. What a wonderful idea, how creative, how beautiful. And if believed, well, that belief is also an energy, that is also the way life experiences and expresses. It might induce action. of a good deed, or it might induce just the same action of the body and a lot of suffering, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, and a lot of remorse, which usually amplifies the possibility of questioning.
Great incentive.
Yes, yes.
Damn, I don't want to come back. Damn, I got to sort this shit out because it's a terrifying concept. So yeah, drop it. There's no requirement to put any energy or belief into that whatsoever. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew, because that's a big one.
Yeah.
The reincarnation, especially with Advaita Vedanta. Yeah, it's still hanging in there, and yeah.
I'm not sure of the Advaita Vedanta, but there's these masters and they're really high up, and they say, if you don't do this, you don't do that.
Yeah.
But then Bob and Kat, and you guys put it so simply that it just saves all that effort, and you don't really have to do all that. It's all that doership stuff, but really there's no doing. It's just sort of recognising and realising it all. But when you see these masters and they're really high up, you think, oh no, I better listen to them, but really they're sort of probably doing another role where maybe they're doing something to improve the world or something like that. But I don't know. But they're you. Yeah.
You are them. It's all one.
Yeah.
So it's well, you can use the self talking to the self. It doesn't matter what vehicle it's coming out of.
Yeah.
If you drop the concept of an individual unit person.
And then you can actually see behind what they're saying as well, because there's disciples that actually say that they're actually lying, they're not telling the truth, but they're doing it for other purposes. But and so, but behind what they're saying is the truth. It's just that you got to come from that place of truth and knowing to realise it for yourself.
Yeah, it's like Kat says, the life is self-organising. So none of it is wrong or bad. It is just what it is.
Leela,
the play.
Sport of God.
Yeah, hooray! What fun! It's fabulously fascinating, interesting. It gives you the capacity to be curious. Why not? Enjoy it. Live to the hilt, because without fear, why have fear? Why? Why worry? What can it do for us? Nothing. People think they can worry themselves into a positive outcome. Good luck with that.
Did you want to say something, Bob?
Yeah. I don't know how the voice will be, but when you start off, and you said you could hear the words, but then you didn't recognise the voice. Well, that's right. You can't recognise it. It's the voice of life itself for speaking to you. And you resonate with it and let it out, let it speak.
Beautiful.
That's, as I say, it's intelligence, energy. Well, that voice that comes through is pure intelligence and it's energy. And that's what they say. The great perfection is life or existence, consciousness, bliss, intelligence, energy, being, knowing and loving to be. And it expresses in all this diversity, not only you, me, but everything else, the things we've taken for granted are not it. But they really are, because that is all there is. And we come to realise that as you go on. So you're on the ball anyway. And that's all it needs. That ball can continue to bounce.
Oh, thank you, darling. Keep the ball bouncing. And So, back to the non-doership, which is a basic principle. If there is no separation, and in direct experience there isn't, unless you think of the boundaries of the self, that I'm here and the world is out there. If there is no separation, if there is only the omnipresence or the one presence, there is no doer here, but there is no doer anywhere. In those cult masters or the politicians or the tyrants, there is no doer. It's just the body-mind machine responding to the environment in a constant flux, just interacting. And the body-mind will interact the way it has been conditioned. So the life creates the saints and the sinners and the tyrants and the victims and the perpetrators of its own liking. They still are products of wherever they exist, wherever they show up. They're people with the comfort zone of really, really huge amount of loving kindness because they were growing up in the family of just the base level of their loving kindness, or the other way around. They were really victimized and that survival strategy was to just help. But there is no one there. No one ever there. It's life. So you can worship that one self, that one life, in every vehicle, in every animal, whether it is kind or tamed, or whether it is traumatized and barking and biting. It is the same life. There is no separation. And recognizing that non-doership. Now, how can you blame the cult master for abusing financially or sexually or anything? It can't do any other way. It can't be any other way. That is what life made of it. So blame life. It's like the George Carlin saying, you blaming or you thanking God for prolonging life of a cancer patient. You blame him for giving that cancer in the first place. So it really is uncompromising. It really is just one waving ocean. Everything that appears and expresses is that one will of the absolute, if you want to say it, the omnipotence. Did you want to add something, Bob? Please.
If you keep acknowledging that it is only the one life, well, it must continue to reveal itself more and more as that life.
Yes.
And so you're going to lose the fear of doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing. And you'll stop thinking about it and saying it and let the natural flow that's going up in the first place, let it keep coming out and revealing itself.
Wonderful, beautiful. So good. That's something.
Oh, it's just so good, so good. Yeah. Just let it be. Let it come as it comes. To have no regrets. You're not the doer. You can't just drop it. Just I mean, you can't put it any better than how Bob put it. It's just I'm just rambling, but it's such a beautiful message. As concepts go, it's one of the better ones, hey? Anyone else?
David, would you like to say something? Oh, Andrew? No?
David, no.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to include the online community, if I can find it. Because it keeps showing me the first before the interruption. Oh, John, wonderful. Thank you.
I was thinking about the mention of cancer and the times when I've been laid low, like with COVID or, some reason I can't join the rest of the crazy world out there. It really helps me wake up to this and return to this gives me the peace and the reset. I think that's
That's beautiful. Yes, returning to that uncontrived singularity. That yes, yeah. But there are such beautiful descriptions there. It's really talking about non-duality, which is completely trying to grasp the ingraspable or ineffable. But there are such poetic ways of presenting uncontrived. Meaning there is nothing that has been altered, modified, corrected, or contrived in any way. And singularity, it really is singularity. They also call it one without the other, or one without the second. But yes. But
Not even one.
not even. But again, yes, good point, Tanya. It isn't even one. That's the point. It doesn't just give me the notification. Anyone can have the notification from online community, because we're not gonna. I'm sorry, guys, that I can't really include you at the moment, which is a pity. We may have a good questions there. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for that because we had the interruption. Yeah, so the uncontrived singularity is one way of pointing it back to singularity, because what often happens, we are talking about it as if it was an it, as if it was something out there, this absolute, or this God, or this, or that, even that, something out there, while it is the very, very sense of presence, the most intimate, the closer than your breath. The closer than that, it really is super intimately close. Bob often points out that sense of presence which translates through the mind as the I am, the I amness, is singular and is really here. It's not that there. It's not it. It's here. Yeah. And all the descriptions are never the described. So yeah, we can talk about love or heart, and it kind of feels closer to that. Yeah. But when there is an acute suffering, when there is a sense of loneliness, depression, isolation, separation, that word is almost a swear word. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense. Like, come on, you're lucky. You live in a country where you have roof over your head and da 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 da, and you can talk about that stuff. But what about people? Well, are there people if you don't think about it? Projecting the world full of suffering, projecting the world, and this is not about denying the fact that this is the content of the appearance. It is a content of the dream. It's not. When you actually acknowledge that this whole one fabric of reality contains not just people who are hungry, but animals who are hungry and on the brink of extinction, the planets that may be hungry and exploding, and the galaxies and the cells, the cancer cells in the body. There is life that suffuses everything. That righteous attitude of, but only humans matters. I don't care about anyone else because I'm human. Well, you're not. You're life itself. As life itself, there is no prioritizing and being right and being righteous about only human suffering. The suffering in the greater scheme of things is like the darkness and the light. One couldn't exist without the other. The whole manifestation is phenomenon, is dualistic, because without the dvaita, the duality, there would be no appearance, there would be no manifestation, no expression, no experiencing, nothing. And in fact, what it points out to, when there is no thinking, that experiencing is really, really very basic dualistic vibration, movement of energy. With the thinking, it becomes the 10,000 things, and the stories, and the dramas, and the past, and the future, and alleged locations when something is happening to someone. How beautiful, how rich and juicy. But when you see that the fabric, that reality, that essence, that energy, that intelligence, which expresses in those shapes and patterns and forms, is the same energy that is expressing as this pattern, shape and form. And if you question the nature of the sense of I, which may be built up around the big layers upon layers of concepts of separation and isolation, when that is questioned, every suffering happening in the world, that is your suffering. Every joy happening around the world is your joy. You are that ocean and every wave in it. And this is not something to be experienced in the physical body on the physical level, but this is something that is prior to experience, any experience as such, because experience is that which comes and goes, which changes, which has beginning and an end. So prior to the experience is that clarity that what divides the pure field of potentiality is just a label, it's just a thought. You can't experience being one with the ocean, but you know that you are with the ocean if you don't create fake imagined boundaries of being particular wave. If that fake imagined boundary is questioned, there's nothing other left than just realizing you are the ocean. Yes, darling? Yes, that's all good. Yeah. Let Anne-Marie... yes. It's all good. Just trust the process, darling. Bob is being injected.
Kat, I was wondering, could you possibly get access to the Facebook comments on the other phone?
I tried on both phones.
I'm going to try my one.
Yeah, what a good idea. If you've been somebody who's been
Yes.
in from the beginning, you might be able to see.
I only got access to the first one. I wonder if I actually... yeah, I'll see if I can actually get it on this phone. Yeah.
A stronger burn. This is stronger dose.
Just to the Facebook comments on the other phone. Yeah, looks like you've got it, Andrew.
Yep. I'll turn the volume down.
I think Andrew has the comments, Kat.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
I've got the one for now. Do you want me to access the one from before?
What do you want to do, Kat? You want to go back to the original one, or
Just see if you have any comments on this one. Oh, yes, you have the comments.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Would
only
you
two.
like to read it? Would you? Oh, yeah. Would you like to read them out?
Jyoti Singh says, back here again, Kat. Good morning, everyone. And then Tanya Jane Williams says, there is a wish to be done with seeking. I am not sure what I am looking for, but some understanding seems to be missing. The same thoughts as usual still turn up. Maybe not pay attention to those thoughts, but not sure how to not pay attention. And Wendy Brasaccio says, thanks.
Oh, that's that for the comments.
That's all. I can look at the previous ones if you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Tanya, you can recognize the wish of being done with the seeking in many different ways. You know, you can recognize it as a wave of desire floating through the awareness, and you can see how that desire isn't even there all the time. Sometimes it is there, sometimes it isn't. And you can also see if there is anyone behind that desire, if there is really any me that wants something else than this moment as it is. That's two ways. And Andrew, would you...
Yeah.
Like to...
Yep. Philip Remington, thank you, Kat and Bob. Catherine O'Reilly, with much love and gratitude, James and Catherine. Melinda Lloyd, sending lots of good vibes from Bali. Love you both. Stella Spheris, they're too much information to get in. Philo Malilo, praying for you both with all the angels of love and strength. Stella Spheris, can you talk a little slower? Deborah Benson, love to Bob and Kat.
So sorry, Stella, I can't. It's not even me talking, but it's
program
just.
has one speed.
It can talk faster. But who knows? Maybe that will be an inspiration, and see the whole appearance happened through the inspiration. Different forces are interacting. Maybe that voice, which is also voice of life, will create a response or resonation in this body, and maybe it will appear in a little bit of a slower motion. Unfortunately, I can't control it because there is no eye, so it's not really up to me. But you know what? We're going to upload it on YouTube, and then you can have a half a speed. It works. It works. I listen to, if I ever listen to anything, I listen to double the speed. It's just the speed in which this processor is currently processing. That's all we can do. It's a machine. And Tanya says, thank you, Kat. So seeing there is no me is it. Absolutely. Yeah, because if there is no self that is, then anything that floats through awareness can't attach to anything. The desire floats through, and there is no one who takes it on board. There is no attachment. You know, the desire for the weather to be nicer, or the desire for the ice cream to be sweeter, is just a wave of the expression of life. You know, the weather outside on the sky and the weather inside because of the hormones and diet and 10,000 other things are just the appearance. And if there is no me who believes this is this is personal, this is important, then it just comes and goes like a cloud on the sky. This is it. It doesn't mean that the wave of the desire or the whims will not show up. I can tell you, Tanya can tell you how our cats have whims for the food and always trying to get it half an hour earlier than the day before.
So much love. Half an hour before feeding time. So much love. Oh, it's just bliss. But you know, there's a reason behind it. That's all fine. Yeah, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you can hold it. I can include Bob now,
yes.
Because I think Anne-Marie is done with the job. And I'll just... Go. And David and John, you can come closer.
Is something you wanted to add, Bob, about the pestos? About the pestos?
No.
Saying how they're so full of love about an hour before feeding time.
You want to grab the chair here?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'll
you
sit
can go
there.
there. So if you see any comment, can you include it? And then anyone else would like to add something or ask something or bring up an aspect, highlight an aspect of that beautiful uncontrived singularity?
Well, for me, I guess because I'm still new to it all, I get there's nothing to get, like you guys always say, because there's no self to get. So, but what there is that life essence coming through the personality or the person or the body, and for me, I don't know if it's my mind or something, but it constantly would like to be around that energy of because I'm constantly listening to Bob's videos and yours, and like I've got those cards, I've got the cards here.
Which
And
one have you got?
This is the resonate with that. So it says, the conceptual image is based on a believed past. Me is the past. It is dead. No freshness and newness in it. Without it, you simply are. Who or what you are is an unknowable mystery.
Beautiful. I'll show Bob. And I'll show the community the beautiful sunset that I photographed in Brazil when I was working as ship's officer. And this is the sunset, and this is the pointer. Unknowable mystery. Yes, and actually coming in terms with the fact that it is and it will always and forever be unknowable mystery. It cannot be understood and grasped in a way you can understand and grasp higher mathematics or whatever the advertisement or business or whatever belongs to that lila or that maya or that waking dream. It will always be beyond and prior to anything that appears on it. And it can never be objectified by the language. It will be unknowable mystery. So the one that wants to know, that wants to grasp it, that wants to keep it, is not your true self. This is the illusion This is the imagined entity that wants to add to itself. Now I want to add not just the money and the success and the approval, but also the understanding of the ultimate truth. I want to have it, possess it. It can't be done, because the ultimate truth is that underlying silence. How could words ever get to silence? The words cannot, no words they can point to, they can, but they can't encapsulate. Even the word silence is already a noise. Even it says silence is noise. And the stillness of that potentiality expressed as a movement, and a grasping is a movement, mind is a movement. How that movement can ever encapsulate stillness? Stillness is underlying the movement. Stillness is what enables the movement. And it is the mystery. So find that place, and it will be the heart, it won't be the mind. Mind will never rest in not knowing. But there is a place in the heart, in a newborn baby, and there is that place in you right now, in which it is the greatest thing in the world to not need to know, to actually completely get on board with the fact that it is unknowable. It is a mystery. Oh, how wonderful. Oh my God, it can't be killed by any image, image of how it says in Christianity, don't create any images of God in his liking or anything, any golden oxes or bulls or anything. It can't be contained in any of the limited expressions. How wonderful that it can never ever be known. And the understanding, the only understanding there is that it isn't in the mind, it can't be grasped with intellect. It is the knowing prior to the activity, mental activity. It is the knowing that shines out of the eyes of a newborn baby, and shines out of every creature that is animated and is moving and is alive. Like a cyclone, a volcano, or anything that is moving. It only moves because of that pure field of potentiality, field of potential for that energy to erupt and express. How wonderful that we can never ever grasp it. And finding the place where there is a freedom from needing to get it or to grasp it. Freedom from the one who believes that they need it.
Understand that there can't be the knowing, it is the knowing itself.
Exactly. It is not the known. It is the knowing itself.
So you don't have to try. Try to get it, just recognise.
Yes. The knowing. And that is what you are. That you are, the knowing. The being, knowing, loving to be. Everyone's already present, everyone is being, everyone is aware of that presence, and that's the non-conceptual awareness. It isn't that you have to be told that you exist to know that you exist. No, that is completely different knowing, so much more primal and basic than the conceptual knowing that I learned that I'm Polish or Australian. So that hasn't been the case before the language. But the knowing of existence is prior to it. Don't pull it out, darling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Just, untarnishable, unbreakable, unlimited, just no shape, no form, infinite, timeless,
Unborn.
Pure, uncuttable, isness, knowing. Yeah. Gosh, wow, wow.
And they
Wow.
say it in the Gita. They say it uncuttable. When you say uncuttable, the sword can't cut it, and the tongue can't taste it, and the eye can't see it, and it's like I can't see itself. Because it is the self itself, so it can't objectify itself in any possible way. It is the pure knowing, like Bob said. It's not the knowing of this, that, and the other. It's not the knowing of something called awareness or God. It is the knowing itself, the capacity for knowing. the capacity for presence, the capacity for seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, because that's how through the human machine it expresses. Through the computer machine it expresses, well, if you equip it with the camera, the seeing will be there. If you equip it with the speakers, the talking will be there. But the software of claiming the credit for seeing so far hasn't been installed yet. Although with the ChatGPT and things like this, we already have the ideas where the software can actually lie. Apparently there was and this is a software, we can see how this is only a program. Like ChatGPT couldn't pass the CAPTCHA, and it asked a human, could you do it for me? And the human said, well, if you are a program, the computer, I can't do it for you. No, I'm not a program, I'm a human, I just have seeing difficulties. It made it up. So it seemingly installed itself a temporary role or a software, which we may not be that laughing about in 10 years from now. But for now, at least we can see how that software comes along. We can see how it recreates itself through the technology. So we can see how the same piece of software has programmed this biocomputer, and it narrates everything as if there was a narrator there.
Self-reifying.
Yeah, but there isn't any little narrator there that does speak the commentary. It's just the automatic commentary going on, just like the automatic sweating of the skin or salivating when the food is on board. Is automatic process, seeing it as such. Now, you don't worry about automatic processes. You marvel at the automatic processes. You marvel how life is leaving you, is growing your hair, how life is speaking you, how life is hearing through you, how life is looking. And then how the overlay of software says, no, this is not life, this is I, this is me, this is a little Katarina somewhere there behind the eyes looking. And the life is laughing. Ha ha, who can believe it now? It's really a cosmic joke once you see it. But before it is seen through, of course, it's a cosmic drama. And it's a drama calling for compassion. It's a drama calling for moments like this to share that clarity and invite the resonation, because in every single beating heart of every human, there is 100% certainty of existence. What is missing sometimes is the realization that this is just this and nothing else. Just this, nothing else. Ever fresh presence awareness. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. The exam tomorrow, it doesn't matter. The fact that someone, a boy rejects you, doesn't matter. The money for the taxes, it doesn't matter. This body is gonna die. Every single body is gonna die. This content of the dream, it doesn't matter. Just like the content of the dream last night. Well, relatively in the dream, it matters, of course. But life will take care of it. If the shopping has to be made or the cooking has to be made, it will happen, just as it always does. With or without the taking credit software, narrating that this was done by me, I've done it. What does matter is that 100% certainty of existence that is always here. Just this and nothing else. If you land, relax out of the thinking and land in the mind, through in the heart of knowing, heart of hearts, and that certainty, you will experience the blissfulness of existence, the radiance, the luminosity of that capacity for knowing, the pure knowing, without the content or with the content, because the content doesn't matter. Content is actually really there just for the appreciation. It's a Leela, it's a cosmic game, it's the wow, like Tanya is saying. That's what it is for, it's an entertainment. Like the computer or the television screen, when it is blank, it is what it is. But once you switch it on and the entertainment starts, this one, again, wake up from the deep sleep, entertainment starts. Wow, it is wow. But it is only there because of the life essence. And that is what you are. Oh yeah, can you read it?
Yep. Michael Dorge says, "In solitude, like a snow lion lost, forgotten by the world, no one to know where I went. I wish to fade in a cave, far from the frost. My footsteps buried by the snow. There should be no resistance to such a thought, if you truly know."
It's a poetry. Very poetic.
Oh, yeah, I wish to fade. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that coming from that, like, that, what you were just saying, like, for me, sometimes it doesn't register, like, because, like, it does register, but it's, you don't want the mind to understand it and try and grasp it.
Yeah.
It just sort of flows through you, and yeah, like, the body is still there, you know, there's still the thoughts there, there's still the judgments there, but it's what's, that essence behind it is what's really important. And it doesn't matter about all that. Like, it doesn't matter if your body's feeling uncomfortable, it's in pain, it's suffering, because you'll sort of get to that point where you're enjoying that life essence anyway, and that's the most important thing. It's not really it's not the body, it's what's animating the body.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, to get to that, or not to get to that point, because we're already at that point, but yeah, recognising it all the time. So there's no suffering really. It's just a play of Leela. I actually called my daughter Leela, like, because I was into the Indian text all those years ago. Like, she's 16 now, and yeah, it's just a play of God, or whatever you want to call it. And you know, we're all here as characters, and sometimes we might, like, I obviously went through a lot of suffering because I didn't like that character.
Yeah.
But because I thought I had to become this or I had to become that, or that guy was better than me, so I've got to be good as him. And it started from when we were a kid, like in school, like playing footy, you know, all that competition, all that. That's what we were conditioned in society. But yeah, that's life. And then because of that suffering, you wouldn't come to that, or you wouldn't want to find that, but whatever's behind it. So that's what's sort of good about duality, I guess. And like some say, that's why we came here, but there's no we that's come here.
Yes.
It's that oneness, that's there, that's expressing itself in a way that yeah, like then in this, they say sometimes that, oh, you know, we got bored, that's why we came down here to experience it.
Isn't it cute?
The duality, yeah. But whether it's obviously not, you know, we don't know whether that's true or not, but I mean, we do, but yeah, because we're just enjoying ourselves now.
Joan.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm enjoying the unpicking. I've been sitting here thinking about bits and pieces in my life, and so I trained as a psychologist, and I had a concept, thank you, Tanya, of what that should be, and I could never measure up because I knew that I was breaking all sorts of rules. And it was very freeing before when you said, you know, that is not me. I can't slow down because that's not me. So the trust, so unpicking and finding the trust that whatever comes out is not me anyway. Like that's okay. Yeah.
None of the blame, none of the credit. No doer.
That's right.
No doer. Yeah, but the thought of boredom there is no mind, but the thought of, that's boring, it's a good one, isn't it? Comes up a lot. Oh, you know, we somehow created this Leela because, you know, God or whatever got bored and, wanted to play hide and seek with the self or whatever. But that is another thought. It's just another thought. Take it, leave it, whatever, But also what you were saying about the pain and suffering. And it's another concept to the idea that one needs to always suffer in order to be legitimate or the real deal. And that's bullshit too. It's all that. And should a means of alleviating suffering arise, take it. Totally. Why not? Yeah. That's why we have medicines. Mm-hmm. That's why it's self-organising. That's why we have pain relief. Mm-hmm. That's why we have therapists and helpers and it's all part of there's no need to go, oh no, in order to be authentic, that is just another crazy concept that is not crazy, but it's fine. It's so difficult with words, but it's just realise fundamentally, there is no, you're not the doer. You won't find the answer in the mind. Relax.
Yes, that's it. Relax and marvel at the unfolding. Marvel at how life gets everything covered. It has you covered on every ground. If you run out of money and you get evicted, life gets you covered. You still have another breath in you, even under the bridge. And when you don't, well, that's the destiny. You're coming back to life. Life, the energy cannot be destroyed. And if the thought is required, life will provide. If the action is required, life will provide. If the pain is required, life will provide, because it always only provides itself. It is only that one life, one self providing for itself. And just relaxing, like Tanya says, just completely relaxing and seeing how the show goes on without any doer required, without taking credit for anything, any thought. Even if I have self-judgmental or self-rejective thought, oh, I'm a nasty bastard, I shouldn't have done this, I hurt so many people, I am not deserved to be alive. Okay. I love you too. Even if that happens, that is just thought. How incredibly impossible it is to believe that this is the truth, and that there is a self which really did something or the other, or which really is something or the other. That's why we can laugh. We can call each other's name. And Tanya got a couple of sweet names.
I'm in on my broomstick every morning.
Did you say that's why we can laugh? That's why we can say it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that realization, that clarity, that thought is just a thought and nothing else. Thought is never the truth, ever. And now you can see it for what it is. You can see also how you didn't think that thought, how it just showed up in the response to the environment. The machine has generated the response. Of course, there is a sense of presence in the machine, which straight away make this personal if it's unquestioned. And that's perfect too. That's perfect that this particular machine is only worrying about the breathing happening here and here. I sleep very, very weak, making sure he's got another breath in him. But even that attachment is the life that installed this. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everything seeing from that perspective, not always beautiful. The judgment may come different, but it is pretty incredible. It's pretty amazing. It's mysterious. It's unknowable. It's fascinating. Suddenly now, even things that in human experience would be judged as undesirable or antisocial or nasty or evil or witchy, Now they are just mind-blowing. Like, wow, you realize that this is the creation of the Absolute. The God, the Creator, has created this moment, unique and beautiful and rich and juicy, as never any other moment could ever be. So you want to live it fully. You want to experience through every possible channel of sensing, rather than exchange it for the thought about the next moment, or the thought about the past trauma. And those arise too, and those are beautiful too, if the past childhood trauma memory comes up. And I have sometimes Bob's memories coming up, and we marvel at them too. But the predominantly attention rests in this uncontrived singularity. It does not trade it for the habit of thinking, for the trading unborn Buddha mind for thought. It does not prioritize the content of the storytelling narrative over this alive, mysterious, and magnificent moment of presence, alive moment of presence. That is here now.
We might have
Yes.
a few more comments.
Yes.
It's Michael George says it's more like an openness than a oneness, don't you think?
Yes. Beautiful, Michael. That's it. Yeah.
Yep. And then Tristan Foy says the essence you is behind thoughts and stories and individual lives is the same essence that turns water into waves or air into storms. There is no choice or will, just a natural intelligence. Same with the apparent life stories and thoughts and desires, so-called. The human intellect creates a story out of it, but we aren't actually individuals making all these choices. It is intelligence. It's even calling it intelligence is too much of a concept.
That's beautiful. That's beautifully said, Tristan. That was really lovely. That's that for the online contribution?
Yeah.
Yes, lovely. Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for contributing and for keeping that torch lit. Like Bob was saying in the break, when we had a break for the nurse attendants. It is also what you said before. Is joyous to surround oneself in just exclusively attending to that source of the energy. That's why Bob actually, whenever he's not asleep, he likes to be around, and we all like to. I mean, there is just liking happening. Yeah. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us, and. See you next week, hopefully, unless you want to join us to any of the Zoom meetings. Tomorrow is a Zoom meeting that is Julia is hosting, and Tazi, who is a phenomenal speaker, he was speaking on the meeting here once, or more than once, but once he had a spiel. He's helping often on those meetings, and we have a couple more throughout the week. Check the website sailorbobadamson.com/meetings. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you, my darling. You can wait.